Hi, Victor. All right. Oops. Okay. All right, guys. Victor, just popping you in. Be joining me second. There he is. Good evening to you, my friend.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm well. It's morning here in Los Angeles, 10 a.m. And it's what time there?
It's
7
7 p.m. 7 o'clock. Yes.
7 p.m. 7
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah.
How's the weather today?
It's very gloomy. It's like a San Francisco fog today, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah, but every day's different. Most days are sunny, but today's the
Well,
day.
we are live from Ibiza, and I hear friends that say Ibiza and Ibiza. What's the correct pronunciation?
The Spanish say Ibiza. They throw the th in there.
Yeah.
The British say Ibiza. The Germans say Ibiza. The Italians say Ibiza. In Catalan, it's Ibiza.
It's whatever. It is what it is.
When I'm in the States, I say Ibiza. If I say Ibiza, I normally say Ibiza. Whatever comes out of my mouth first.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
Say
Yeah.
Ibiza, no one understands. So.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to the Thinking of Art call series. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about the series I started recently during quarantine to give people an opportunity to meet artists and experts and people that love art around the world. And today we're live with Victor Spinelli, who's an artist, but he's a multifaceted artist. And I'm really excited to introduce you to him. He's a photographer, he's a painter, he's a sculptor. He's worked on some incredible projects for many years, but I don't know if at some point we're going to walk around and see the view, because I know people are going to want to see the view of your beautiful view that you have from the window. But just wanted to jump in, like the questions that I'm getting whenever I post is kind of the pre-promotion of this was, wow, what is the Diver Up series about? Because this beautiful woman with this helmet on, or not helmet, it's a
commercial diving helmet. It's one of the original,
okay.
There's been many different styles, but this is the U.S. Navy diving helmet. Yeah.
So how did you come up with this series? Like, what was the inspiration for this? Because this happened after you've had a whole career of photographing celebrities and Olympians and
yeah. I came up with the idea. I don't know where it came from, but I wanted to mix an industrial helmet, a man-made piece of machinery, with a female body, mixing a man-made and Mother Earth. And then I took the photograph in 2005 in Ibiza, and I called her Diver Up because she's like sort of coming up out of the water in my description of it. She's coming up out of the water and she's ready to lift this piece of machinery off of her head, and it was the first piece of machinery or helmet that enabled us to breathe underneath the water, right? And that's where we basically came from. So we were actually going back to the seas, but she's ready to lift this and free the feminine goddess, and therefore freeing all of humanity and human equality throughout the world. That's the reference of the original image, which is behind me. Yeah.
So you debuted that piece, right? Or I guess you created that piece a while back, but then you, at Burning Man last year in 2019, you created an 8-foot tall sculpture of the Diver Up, right?
Yeah, and then we were supposed to make a 24-footer, and then the funds weren't there at the end, so we made an 8-footer, and we burned it on the man's ashes, and which was kind of like a metamorphosis, which was the theme for last year. And and now, well, this year we were supposed to bring the 24-footer. We had the funds in place, and we were going to start making it, and then Corona came and everything's canceled, so it's pushed for one more year. So we're going to, in 2021, we're going to bring a 24-footer. It's going to be interactive. You'll walk into her through the back from her back, and then you'll walk into this marine environment of all these gadgets and dials and compasses and brass fittings, and you'll be able to walk up into the helmet. She'll be a viewing station up there, or DJ booth at times, and whatever. Yeah.
Very cool. How has your life changed since Corona quarantine?
To be honest with you, I think there's a blessing in disguise with all of this. I think the earth. I mean, this is the first time basically humanity's been shut down, and we all had to stay home, basically, most of us. And I think it's a good time for us to think and realize what we're doing to the world. And like, why is the world running so fast? Why are we working 6-7 days a week? I mean, I think the work week should be 4 days a week, so people would have 3 days and to be with their families and friends and loved ones. I mean, and I think it's a good reflection period for me. I mean, as an artist, I'm creative all the time. So now I'm drafting a graphic novel from the script that I've written. So, and it's given me a lot of time to do that. I've been putting this off for years, but now I'm really hammering it. So
I think that's what, to your point, it's a beautiful time that we have. It's been a difficult time financially and mentally, emotionally, to really focus on projects or do work on ourselves that we haven't had time to really do.
Exactly.
Because of all the craziness. So talk about the SPiN Art Residency. I really am curious about that, because that's something that you put together and with a group of people, I think, there in Ibiza.
Yeah, well, I came up with the idea a few years ago, and then I want to pull together a collection of artists that are trying to change or send metaphors through art to change thinking, to bring awareness of what we can do on the planet and how we can change the planet to make it a better place. And you could be a sculptor, you could be a photographer, video, you could be a digital artist, anything. You could be a script writer, you could be a poet. I just want to create a space and bring critical thinkers together and come up with ways and solutions to send awareness through art.
So can any artist apply for that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So do they go to your website, or how do they, the SPiN Art Residency website?
They can go to my website, and there's a link to that website, but it's spinartresidency.com.
Okay.
And because of Corona, it's been pushed back to maybe October, maybe the following spring. We're not sure yet. So,
okay.
So things are everything in the air right now.
Awesome work what you're doing. So can we talk about the Olympian series? I know you've photographed some amazing celebrities like Kate Blanchett, Paris Hilton, Steve Martin. I mean, I was looking through some of them earlier today, just to refresh my memory. But the Olympian series really stands out to me. I mean, especially that the water polo shot that we used in some of the promos for the call. Yeah. Can you tell me about that? Where was that shot, and how did you make that happen? It's very cool.
Water polo, I was in 2004. I was invited by the USOC to do a series of portraits, and I photographed Michael Phelps that year before he won any golds. I think it was Athens that year, 2004. And I was living in Santa Monica at the time, and after that happened, the water polo team practiced. I think it was somewhere in LA, and I organized it with the coach. And he said, come on down to practice. And then I got to practice, and it was the men's team and the women's team. I also have photographs of the women's team underneath the water. Mm-hmm. And I had a Nikon 5 camera, which is film, where you have to, you take 36 shots. You have to go up, and you have to basically dry off the camera and refill it, and everything will go back down. But it was amazing. These guys, the practice, I had to wait about an hour and a half, because they were just doing laps. He's like, okay, guys, swim. And they were just doing laps back and forth. So when I went in, I told him to give me 5 or 6 seconds when I went below. And then I said, come down and just do some horse playing around. And they were like seals. It was amazing what they were doing. They were just, they were obviously used to being in the water, So.
Yeah, I wish we could see some of these photos. Let me see if I can flip my camera and show you guys some of these shots that he did. 1 second here. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I can do it. Wait, why is it not flipping? Okay. So this one of Michael Phelps, I think, is the one you said before he won.
This is before, yeah. This is
okay.
2004, yeah.
That's awesome. And then there's some more down here. That's cool. That Ryan, what's his name? Ryan Lochte? Oh, we lost you for a second. Who is that?
I'm back. Yeah, that's Ryan Lochte.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He has about 14 golds himself. Yeah,
Awesome. I didn't realize that.
yeah, he has after Michael. Yeah, maybe he has 12 or 14, something like that. He has a lot of medals.
Amazing. He just didn't get as much PR for whatever reason as Phelps.
Yeah, I mean the last Olympics he did was it in Rio for that whatever he went through down there? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Who's this?
Her name escapes me. This is going back so many years, but I think she was a gymnast. I think she got gold in gymnastics, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
You're going to test my memory, yeah.
It's okay.
He was a cyclist. He came in. He has a silver. I think his last name is Finney.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many, you guys. You can check them out on his website. They're really beautiful. And then there's, let me see some of the other things that he's done. I mean, the celebrities are really beautiful. I want to hear what it was like shooting Cate Blanchett.
Yeah, that was in her private suite before she won the Oscar in I believe it was 2006. Yeah.
Wow.
The private suite about 2 hours before the Oscars.
How did you have the opportunity to shoot these celebrities?
Somewhere on like that, Chris Rock was on a film set. That was actually he was the first celebrity I shot with. Yeah, that was in New York. I was actually a location scout on that film set, and that's where I met Chris.
Amazing.
But different things. Some were.
Steve Martin, who's a big art collector.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, major. Susan Sarandon. Incredible. Paris Hilton, how was that?
Yeah, that was great. I was working with a designer who was dressing Paris and about 10 or 12 other celebs in a private suite at the Beverly Hills Hilton, and I was there every day photographing them in the rooms, and we were all hanging out together. She was very sweet.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's Amber Heard there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool shot. Very cool. Love that. Oh, amazing shot. That's cool.
Yeah, that's in the Grand Palais in Paris during the Chanel show.
Well, let me put my camera back in here, guys. Okay, sorry. So how are you thinking of art differently now versus all of the pre-corona? I'm just curious. Like, has it changed your perspective and like your thought process and how you're creating and different, obviously like the Burning Man project with Diver Up is put off for another year, but how's your thinking process changed and your creative process?
Well, thinking process, it all comes back to gratitude, being healthy and seeing what's happening into the world. And there's some places that are just being, I don't want to say devastated, but places like New York I can imagine what's happening there, and I just feel gracious that I'm here. But my attitude is take this time to create more. I mean, it's given me more zest. I mean, the first 10 days, 12 days of the lockdown, I instantly got into my script that I've been writing for many years. It's set in Mykonos, and I drafted the script's about 100 pages, but I drafted 117 pages for the graphic novel. So
wow,
that took 10 straight days, and that by the end of that I was exhausted. I mean, I was coming up with 10 pages a day, and I had to do a layout, and I was going for the feel of what the comic book or the graphic novel would be. And now I'm making the art for it, and this is going to take me months. Yeah.
So you really just had that quiet time to be more creative. I think that's beautiful. So go back like 20 years ago or 20 plus years ago, talk about when you were doing a photo shoot in a hot air balloon. I think this is a really interesting story that I want to hear more about, because I saw that you were basically, you had a hot air balloon and you were letting skydivers jump out of the hot air balloon.
Yeah,
why were you doing that?
I became a commercial balloon pilot in 1992.
Okay.
Commercial balloon pilot instructor, and I started a hot air balloon bungee jumping company in Connecticut, and the next year we're in Westchester in New York. And
Because you went
then,
to school in New York, right? You studied architecture.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, a couple of years after that, I didn't want to jump in the 9 to 5, and I just wanted to see more of the world. I wanted to backpack around the world, and now it's been 85 countries, you know, and I just, that's my passion, is traveling and art. So, but yeah, so I started this company, and then I was flying this balloon, and I let 3 loads of skydivers out. And the last load, I was by myself in the balloon. They jumped out around 9,000 feet, and I'm floating down, and I let the balloon completely cool to get on the Earth's surface again. And I was looking at smokestacks and flags to see what the wind surface, what was doing, what the winds were doing on the surface. And then I see this high school, and I see a giant ball field. I see a football field. I see a quarter-mile track. I said, perfect, I'm coming right down to it. And I radioed down to my partner. I said, and I could see his car. It was like a, you know, ant on the face of the earth, because I was about a mile up. And I said, go up about a mile, and then you'll make your first left, go over a bridge, make another left, and come, and I'll meet you right in this high school. I'm coming down, and then I'm looking at it, and I'm about 500 feet up, and the balloon's coming down, and I see a fence, and then I see another fence, and everything's becoming clear, and I see barbed wire, and I'm like, this is not a high school. Like, we had walkie-talkies at the time. I'm like, this is a prison. I'm coming into a prison.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
I started heating the balloon with the burners, like getting the flames up there, because the balloon takes about 30 seconds to heat up again and start like rising again. And I'm coming down fast. And I could not have planned this. I come inside the prison walls with the balloon, and I just gave her enough heat that she just started to rise back up. And I was about 30 feet above the ground, and the 4 guard towers are there. And all the prisoners were yelling at me, throw down a rope, get us out of here. And the balloon just went up, and it went over the walls, and it landed in the visitors' parking lot. And about 3 Jeep Cherokees pull up, about 10 guards get out. The warden gets out. He's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I said, I thought you were a high school from a mile up, and I'm running low on fuel, and I had to land. And it became a joke.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so.
Where was that?
This was up in, this was at the Wallkill Correctional Facility, upstate New York. Apparently, it's a heavy.
Wait, is that in Westchester, near Bedford? No.
No, south of New Paltz.
New Paltz. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
Wow. I mean, you're an adventurer. So you've been to 85 countries.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 countries that you've been to that you love?
India, Syria, 3, I don't know. There's so many. India, Syria. God, I love so many countries. Burma.
Burma. Wow.
Burma.
Okay. I haven't been to any of those. So Burma was on my list. I almost went to Burma this summer. Yeah. But I didn't make it. Can we see on the diver ups? Because for those of you that have joined, this is Victor Spinelli. He's live from Ibiza, Spain. And feel free to ask any questions, pop those up there. But do you have you show everybody the sculptures that you've done of diver up?
Yeah, hold on one second.
I know you have a bronze and.
Just shut your door now.
We'll explain we have a question here, Victor, for you.
Okay. Yeah.
They're an individual. I'm sorry, I can't see what your name is with your username, but it says pornographic photos. Why? So.
Okay, okay.
So I wouldn't say they're pornographic to me, but.
Let me. Yeah.
But it's to each. Yeah, everybody has a different interpretation. So.
Okay. So if that photograph is pornographic, what about Michelangelo's David in Florence? Is that pornographic? What about? There's more nudes painted in the Vatican Museum than anywhere in the world. I mean, come on. This pornography is intercourse. Pornography is sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
The female body, the male body, we're humans. I mean, we should worship our bodies, worship, the female, the human form. So
there's nothing to be ashamed of with the naked body. There's really not. I've never really understood that. I understand like for children and all of that, but it's a human body. It is
Well,
what it is. It's a piece of art.
when I show the diver, let's say an art fair or something, when I showed it down in Miami in Art Basel, a couple of mothers walked by with their kids, and one mother was like, and one of the kids like, mommy, look at the helmet. The kids don't even see it. They look at the helmet, and
wow, good point.
And you know, you have other mothers saying, what do you? They ask her if they let the kids give their opinion about the diver. They don't even mention the boobs. And there's other parents that come by and they shun the kids, and the kids are looking at it, and then to the kid it becomes something graphic and sexual.
Right. Good point.
Crazy,
you know?
But I mean, you know, pornography is one thing. I mean, this is a piece of art. This is the, like I said before, the meaning behind it is about freeing the feminine goddess and freeing the world and bringing equality to all of us. So.
Well, what I see is just the beauty of the feminine and the strength, the strength that is also can be feminine strength, right? But it's the perception is a helmet when you see it like that. The perception is that it's a male masculine image, right? So, but I think the beautiful juxtaposition between the two is that the strength of a woman can be just as strong, if not stronger, than a man. I mean, my father died when I was 6 years old, so I was basically raised by my mother and my two older sisters. So I have very, very strong female influences in my life. And I mean, for me, when I see it, I do see beauty and I see strength in that. I think it's incredible. And I think, talk about one of the other things you want to do is create the diver up underneath there in Ibiza, right? So that it's under the water. So sea life can live with it and interact with it.
Yeah, I would love to make her out of pH neutral concrete that's not acidic, and then put her in the bottom of the ocean around, let's say 30 feet down, and then you could scuba dive down to it, and I could plant coral, insert coral, like drill into her body and put coral and plant coral and Posidonia, which is the native grass that actually cleans all of the water around in this area, and that's why the water is so crystal clear here. And make it a living coral reef. So I mean, this is one of the
oh my God, very cool. What's it made out of?
This one's resin.
Okay.
And like I said, like at Burning Man, you'll be able to walk into the back, and this at 24 feet, and you'll be able to go into the helmet, and maybe we'll have fire spitting out of the top or something. But
so cool. But we have a question here. The color palette behind you, Victor, is there any certain reason to pick them?
Yeah, those are 4 of the Pantone colors of 2017. Yeah. So I've done a couple of Pantone series. Yeah.
So that's one piece. So that's a photograph, right?
That's a photograph that's on canvas, and then I stretched it around a piece of wood, and then I poured resin on top. Yeah. Can
you show us the little? Yeah, there you go. The little bronze. I think that's beautiful. I'm actually talking to a client about maybe commissioning me to do a bronze like that in their backyard. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah.
It's spectacular.
This is a series of 33, and this is the original maquette. So this is not for sale, unless you have a lot of.
I love that. That's yours. That's your baby.
Yeah. It's my. Yeah.
So what was it? How did you make it to Ibiza? I mean, you're an American, you've traveled 85 countries. You've had a very full life for young guy. You're still a young guy, so you've had a full life.
I feel young. Yeah. Well, I was backpacking I was living in Mykonos before I came to Ibiza, and I was backpacking through India with a girlfriend of mine, and we met a French guy and all became friends, and he's one of my best friends, and he was living in Ibiza at the time, and we were going back to Mykonos, and the three of us decided to go back to Mykonos that summer, and we were selling silver on the beach, silver jewelry from India. We smuggled in 30 kilos of silver jewelry from India and sold it on the beach in Mykonos. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Amazing.
And 2 years later, I came here and I said, you know what? Ibiza's incredible. I can live here. And I came back to start another hot air balloon bungee jumping company here, and that never got off the ground pardon the pun, but.
Did you ever bungee jump in New Zealand? And that big one, I was in New Zealand for New Year's, and I was this close to pulling the trigger to do it, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
And that's the large, I think that's the tallest bungee in the world, right?
I did go to the bridge, but I didn't jump. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay, my sister says, what's the story behind the Jockey series? Is it his current book project in the colorful, playful style?
Yeah, the jockeys, they're, I painted about 10 of them, different animals, and it was just an idea that I had, and I have to paint some more.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. I mean, I wanted to focus and really highlight the Diver Up series on the call, and then the juxtaposition between the Diver Up and the Olympians, because I think that's a really special combination. I mean, I think it'd be interesting to have an exhibition of the sculpture and the photography. I think that would be really, really cool. I have so many questions for you. Let me see here. We talked about the residency, which was really cool. What's a day-to-day life for you like in Ibiza? And can you walk and give us a view? Because we're at 26 minutes on the call now. I'm going to keep this to around 30 minutes if we can. But I want you guys to see his view, even though it's kind of like moody day there today.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me just go out the door here. Let me turn the camera around here.
See what your view is like. It's incredible.
I've never seen fog like this, actually.
So it's usually this beautiful view of the ocean and...
Yeah, there's the ocean.
You said it's not ever like this?
I'm not. Sometimes during the winter, but this is kind of strange, yeah. But
so what should we be seeing out there? Water?
You'll see water straight out there, and then Formentera, which is the next island over. Yeah.
Oh my God! What a beautiful view that you have. Beautiful space to work in.
Too bad. Well, maybe next time we'll do another quick call, right?
We can definitely do another quick call for sure. Yeah. What have you been staying in touch with your family back in the States?
Yeah, actually, I just got off a Zoom call with about 10 of my family members, some of my nephews and nieces, and my mother and my sisters. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they come and visit you there, or are you gonna? Where's the first place that you're gonna go after this is over?
Well, two of my nephews have visited me, and one of my cousins. That's about it. But hopefully more. But yeah, after this is over. Try to get back to New York, visit the family. Yeah. Okay.
Well, what else can you share with us that maybe what's something about you that really nobody knows that either you've done or experienced, or a fun story that we can end with?
Wow. There's so many fun stories. Oh my God. You asked me this before so I could think about it.
I know. I wanted to surprise you.
Yeah. Geez. Off the cuff like this. Nobody knows. I mean, my life is an open book, really. I mean, but I tell you what, I've been keeping diaries since 1992, and I have like maybe 25 diaries that are just filled, of everyday things. So, I'm writing a book of my life, and I mean, some inspirations and goals that I want to do. I want to backpack through the Caribbean for like 3 or 4 or 5 months, 6 months, maybe the Pacific, and just go island hopping. That's one of my dreams for the next year or two. So,
I love that.
It's pushing the art, and it's basically, I just love spreading awareness about the planet. I mean, we live on this beautiful planet that's this vast, cold universe, and we should all be very grateful that we're here, and there's kind of dark times now, but I think the internet is the great equalizer, I've been calling it, because for many years we've had media coming at us, newspapers and radio and TV, and we never had a voice. Now the people have a voice, and a lot of the truths of the world are coming out, and that's why politicians are getting called out and people are getting called out, and we have to we have to live through this truth to get to this promised land of how the world can live in a collective conscious way, in a beautiful way. We can do this. I mean, we have incredible technology. We think of incredible things as humans, and we could live on this planet being cleaner and better and more and kinder to each other. I mean, we're all one. We're all one.
We are. We're all connected. I went on a walk yesterday to the reservoir near my house here, and it was really interesting because it's kind of emotional talking about it. But I was walking around, and the birds were so loud, right? They were so loud. The deer, there were so many deer, and the deer were literally walking up to the fence right next to me. And usually they would be like skittish and like walking away. And then I ended up walking away, and I went with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen her in a month, and we were walking, and I was walking towards her, and she said, "Look, he's looking at you. He doesn't want you to leave." And we just had this whole conversation about, the quietness now that we have at the planet because all of us are indoors. The animals and nature it's interesting. They're enjoying the planet to them, themselves, but also I think they're getting to a point. We were talking about it, how they're missing us. They've got to be missing us. Like, wow, now we're missing you guys. You guys can come out of your cages, or some of the animals were probably saying, go back in your cages, like stay in your homes, like leave us alone. It's our planet. And so we were having this whole dialogue. So to your point, like, I completely agree with you in that this time with, really reflecting on what the planet has done for us and how it feeds us, with the sun, the energy, the food that we eat, the animals that are able to survive because of the sun, and that we're, realize that we are all connected. But I also want to travel. I want to travel more and stuff like that. You and I share that travel bug.
Yeah, for sure.
You more than I do. But has it changed kind of your eating patterns at all? Like, in your reflecting, are you more of a plant-based?
I am totally. Yeah, I'm basically 98% plant-based. Yeah. I'll go out with friends. I might have a burger once a month or something. But basically, I've cut down all sugars and breads and meats. I don't even eat fish. I mean, it's just basically, it's been about 5 years I've been doing this. So, and I feel great. I mean, there's zero sugar in the house right now. So.
Yeah, I don't eat sugar either. It's only in like chocolate or something. And I usually eat dark chocolate, 85% chocolate.
Exactly.
But wow, Victor, I mean, thank you for taking time. I know it's late there in Ibiza, and we're excited to hear more about the Diver Up series, the new projects you're working on, and let's do this again.
Okay.
When we can actually see the ocean and see the view outside your beautiful home. Yeah,
okay.
So. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Okay, Kip.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye for now.